Hey, guess who's back again. Caitlin's back. Tell Caitlin Clark Kent back in action. Where do I even start? 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 7 threes, 11 for 20 in only 31 minutes of basketball. The Indiana Fever say, come on, New York. Come on. Somebody's got to give you this first L, and I guess it's going to be us. No Jonquel Jones, but the Indiana Fever handled business.
She pulled up from the logo and drilled it, crossed over, rose again, swish. Then, without blinking, she did it a third time. Just 38 seconds, that's all it took. Caitlin Clark walked back onto the floor after missing 5 games and turned the most dominant team in the league into a highlight reel. 9 points in under a minute. Not in garbage time, not in preseason, but against the undefeated defending champs. This wasn't a comeback. It was a full-scale detonation. 8 records fell. The Liberty's perfect season evaporated, and the entire WNBA got hit with a message: you still haven't figured out how to stop Caitlin Clark.
Back in the lineup, I'm ready to go.
I think you're just excited more than anything. It gets kind of difficult when you prepare for a game. Obviously, when I'm on the bench, still knowing the scout, knowing everything that the other team's going to do, and still trying to mentally prepare and go through everything like I'm going to play, even though I knew I wasn't going to play. So, doing that, but also knowing I was going to be able to be active today, I think gives you a little extra juice. So I'm certainly excited just to get back out there, get playing, and really good opportunity for us at home here, coming off of a loss. So it's a big game.
The Liberty didn't just look good heading into this game. They looked unbeatable. A perfect 9-0 record, a plus 13.6 average margin of victory. Their offense was surgical. Their defense, brutal. Sabrina Ionescu had been torching defenses with 17.4 points and 6.3 assists per game. Brianna Stewart was doing it all, averaging 19 points, 8.8 rebounds, 1.9 blocks, and Jonquel Jones was making the paint look like a war zone. Together, they weren't just a super team, they were a buzzsaw. No team had scored more than 83 points on them. No team had shot better than 42% from the field. They were grinding opponents into dust.
So I think we continue to learn lessons from the first time we played them and from our last game against Atlanta. Every single day that we move forward. I think they're a different team. Certainly, we're going to be a different team having C and Sophie back on the floor. We're going to tip the ball up and go out, and we're going to give it everything that we have.
Caitlin Clark had missed 5 games with a strained left quad. During her absence, the Fever stumbled, going 1-4. But behind the scenes, Clark never checked out. I was still preparing like I was going to play, she told reporters pregame. Watching film, studying the scout, I knew my time would come again and I wanted to be ready. And when that moment finally came, the atmosphere inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse changed. Even the Liberty felt it. Ionescu admitted post-game, you could feel it. The crowd, the confidence. She came in ready to kill.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the WNBA. The defending champion and unbeaten New York Liberty coming to town for the second time this year as we get ready for this game. And yes, she is back. Caitlin Clark will indeed be playing today. Missed the last 5 games with a strained quad, taking on the Liberty off to their best start ever. Sabrina Ionescu and company in this big Commissioner's Cup game as well. And as usual, all the seats are filled here.
Then it happened. First shot, 34 feet, bang. Second, 31 feet, net. Third, logo range crossover splash, just 38 seconds. No other WNBA player has ever scored 9 points in that short a span. Brianna Stewart later said, I've seen great performances. That was different. That was pure rhythm, pure confidence. The Liberty called a timeout, but the damage was done. Their 11-point lead, gone. Momentum, gone. Mental edge, crushed. The crowd, already loud, turned into a thunderstorm. Gainbridge Fieldhouse sounded like a Final Four arena. Caitlin Clark didn't just swing the game. She flipped the league's entire power structure.
I do not want to hear any Caitlin Clark slander after today's game. I do not want to hear any Caitlin Clark slander after today's game. As you guys know, I was going to give my quad up for Caitlin Clark. I was giving my wife's quad up for Caitlin Clark. I was giving up anyone's quad for Caitlin Clark. Got told she was going to play today, and I was like, she's probably going to take it light. 32 points? 32 points? I think she had like 6 rebounds, 8 assists, maybe vice versa. Like, absolutely insane.
But by the break, Clark had dropped 25 points on 9 of 13 shooting, including 5 of 7 from deep. That's nearly 70% from beyond the arc against the best defense in the league. The last time someone scored that much on the Liberty and a half, no one had, ever. And she did it with the 3 assists, 2 steals, and 0 turnovers. Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello was blunt. You can't give her space, but you also can't trap her without giving up wide-open threes to shooters. That's what makes her so dangerous. The Fever led 53-50. They weren't just hanging around, they were in control.
Just like that, she's back. Caitlin Clark drops 35 after her 5-game layoff from injury. It was at a point where she scored 9 points in less than 45 seconds. I mean, crossing the half-point line, 1 dribble, and just pulling it from the logo. Like, these plays are just mind-blowing. Y'all know she definitely got a tech for yelling at a ref, too. That's, like, prime Caitlin Clark. It was at a point where she pulled from the logo, and her and Stewart were just laughing because it was just that unbelievable. I told y'all, face of the league, you can't deny it. Now, this can translate into the postseason. You're about to see the Indiana Fever make a real run. They got the players, they got the fan base, they got the star. All they need to do is make that deep run into the playoffs and actually give them a chance to do something big.
Clark finished with 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 three-pointers, her most ever in a single game. But here's where the numbers get insane. That stat line has never been achieved before in WNBA history, not once. Not by Torresi, not by Moore, not by Parker. Clark also became the first player with 3 30-5-5 games in their first 2 seasons, passing Candace Parker, who had 2. She reached 850 career points in just 45 games, making her the 4th fastest in league history. For context, Diana Taurasi needed 79 games to reach that same milestone. Cynthia Cooper did it in 38, Simone Augustus in 39. Caitlin's now in that company and climbing.
And Cunningham is
Caitlin
down
from the
behind
logo.
the play.
Oh my God!
But they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 3. And Cunningham
Logo.
just now getting up as she stayed down near the free throw line on the other end.
Oh!
Okay,
Just
why
coming
did
back.
Oh my
he take that?
gosh!
An ankle
Oh
injury, and
my
then
god,
Johannes
and of
very
course Marine Johannes
two
countered
players
it.
not
Not
Please.
for the logo, but this is why I
Caitlin
love
from the
the
logo
NBA.
again! We got a shootout! We got a shootout!
Oh
Oh
Again.
my god! No, no, no!
This wasn't a one-woman show. Lexi Hull turned in the game of her life. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, while shooting 4 of 5 from deep. Her season average before this game, just 5.4 points per game. Post-game, Hull said, "When Caitlin's playing like that, it's contagious. She creates space, she finds you, and suddenly everything feels easier." Aaliyah Boston added 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, raising her average to a league-leading 4.1 assists per game among centers. "I love getting my teammates open," she said, and with Caitlin and Kelsey running off the ball like they do, it makes my job even more fun. Kelsey Mitchell had 22 points of her own, including multiple daggers in the 4th quarter. Every time New York tried to claw back, Mitchell made them pay. "We weren't letting this one slip," she said, "not with CC back." Off the bench, Sydney Colson provided steady leadership with 10 points, 6 assists, and 3 deflections on defense. "That's what vets are here for," she said. "Hold the rope when the starters rest. Tonight, we all held the rope."
We played the Liberty. There was obviously a frustrating ending. What lessons can you take from that experience, and how can that be applied to this, even though I know obviously Liberty look a little different with 2 starters out?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly you take time and score situations, different versions of handling runs, offensively, defensively. Margin for error is small against a team like New York, and every play matters. Every time we send them to the free throw line matters. Every rebound matters. We can't afford to have empty possessions on the offensive end of the floor. You've got to play your A game.
Indiana didn't just win with offense, they dismantled the Liberty's entire system. They held New York to 41% shooting and forced 16 turnovers. They disrupted pick and rolls, overplayed passing lanes, and doubled hard in the post. Clark wasn't just a scorer. She was a disruptor. She led the team in deflections, initiated transition buckets, and had a season-high defensive rating of 96.4. Head coach Stephanie White credited the entire roster. This was about connected effort. Everyone was locked in, everyone executed, and we leaned on each other. That's how you beat a team like New York. Final, Fever 102, Liberty 88. The undefeated streak? Gone. Confidence? Cracked. Clark's statement? Delivered. Indiana now moves to 5-5 and sits atop the Eastern Conference in the Commissioner's Cup standings. The last time they had a 500 record this deep into a season was 2016. This game marked the second highest point total the Liberty have allowed since 2021. And here's the kicker, Caitlin Clark is still not 100%. I'm just getting my legs back, she told reporters. It's about rhythm, not revenge. But yeah, it felt good. The entire WNBA should be terrified by that quote.
The GOAT. It can only be one GOAT, man. It can only be one GOAT. What a performance by Cece. Man, this was well worth the wait. We've been waiting patiently. We've been itching, waiting for her to make her return.
This wasn't just a win. This was a power shift. Caitlin Clark came back and broke 8 records in one game while turning her teammates into stars and exposing the best team in the league. The Fever just revealed the blueprint. The league has officially been warned. If this is what Clark can do, coming off injury, what happens when she hits her peak? Comment, CC is the GOAT if you believe this was more than a game. It was history in the making. Like this video, subscribe to Spotlight WNBA and turn on notifications so you never miss a second of Caitlin Clark's rise. The Liberty may have been perfect, but perfection only lasts until someone writes a better story, and Caitlin Clark just did.